I've got the horse right
I don't
here. What? Fine. If you're gonna be mean about it, I'm gonna steal your spot.
We decided not to go that way.
Are you sure? I can sit in the middle.
Oh, you're fine.
Clowns to the left of you, jokers to the right.
Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Wow, we really did not.
You guys
Back
are singing
in.
two different versions. The mic is on, the camera is recording, and you've got your tea.
All the
Right
elements
here.
of a good Storytime family reaction discussion video are in place,
All right.
including the Storytime family.
You know what that means?
Hello, everybody.
Oh, I was gonna go to the bathroom.
Not on the couch.
Right. I did point.
Oh, you were going to actually go to
Yes,
the bathroom.
go
I'm
to
sorry,
the-
sorry, I thought you meant you were just.
I was just gonna sit there and play on my phone, but you know.
All right. Welcome to your satisfying crunch. Welcome to the first episode of RWBY of the new year. Although it's not the new year yet. When you see this, it will be the first episode of the new year. It's actually the last episode of this year, I guess.
Last year. When they are watching this, it will be last year. The last episode of last year, because when they watch it, it will be last year, not this year.
You will have been watching this episode last
Month?
wibbly wobbly timey-wimey stuff.
Saying,
Yeah, that. All right, so we ended the last episode on a little bit of a cliffhanger. This
And the episode before that was.
This seems to be a developing pattern. We had some cool things there. Now we haven't revisited Yang or Blake in
I was
2
thinking
full
it would be
episodes.
Yang.
I'd like to take a break, leave it on a cliffhanger. I think this is a good place to go back to Yang.
I don't.
I was thinking this would be a Yang episode.
Well, I don't think we're gonna do that though.
Why not?
I think it's a 20-minute runtime, and the name of the episode is "We Need to Talk."
Much needed
A
talk.
much needed talk.
That's why I
can
think
see.
it'll be Yang.
Well, no, I think it's gonna go for the more obvious route of Crow telling Team Orange, Naranha.
Well, everybody else says Ranger,
Yeah.
but they're wrong.
We're orange.
Oh,
We say orange.
Team Orange.
Ranger's not a color. It evokes a color, but it's not a color.
Right, it's not as much of a color as orange.
Right. I think they're gonna rather than.
Orange.
Because they could definitely do a much needed talk or whatever, and it's Yang talking to her dad or
Right.
whatever.
Or
but
even Blake.
yeah,
Blake talking to her dad.
I think it's gonna go the more obvious route,
Or-
and it's gonna be Crow
or-
talking to Team Orange about Salem and what's going on.
Or Kira talking to Sun.
That's not a talk I think they're gonna have on the show.
Well, it's needed. Damn it.
We still need to see a spider character.
We've seen a scorpion character, so the chances of there
Come
being
on!
well, we've seen
Rooster
little spiders that are thralls of Salem's.
I guess,
So-
yeah.
We just need the Phantom Troop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we do. Yeah, I don't have anything else funny to say.
You never have anything funny to say at all, so that doesn't come as a surprise to me.
Well, I guess it's never stopped me before.
That's true. Yeah, not having something funny to say has certainly never stopped
usually
you
not.
from saying something.
Do we want to put that on the back burner though and watch the episode? Hold on, could you slurp that a little more loudly?
I think that's a good idea.
All right.
All right. Oh, you meant could we?
No,
okay,
I
hold
get.
on.
Boom.
Hold on. No, wait,
No,
wait.
no, what?
I have to reset the timer on the camera.
Well, it didn't work anyways, so don't
Okay.
worry about it.
Oh.
Fade to black. What an incredible! Oh, wait. You have volume.
What volume would you
I
like me
don't
to
know, but just you have it.
keep it on?
Hey.
Really?
Really?
No questions?
No. What's
Sweet
your
questions.
favorite fairy tale?
This is just a lot to take in. Sure, of course.
So these maidens. They're powerful fighters that don't need dust to use magic.
Yeah.
And there are 4 of them?
Yep. Always.
Which means that whenever one of them dies, the power transfers to someone, a female, that they care about?
Whoever was in their thoughts last. Important distinction. Best option, it's someone we can trust. Regardless, their souls become combined, in a way.
And that's what you were trying to do to Pyrrha. The night the tower fell. You were trying to turn her into one of them.
The previous Fall Maiden, Amber, had been attacked. She was young, inexperienced. And her assailant, who we now know as Cinder, somehow managed to steal some of her power, but not all of it. We were afraid that if we didn't do something, the rest would go to her as well.
So you forced it on Pyrrha.
We didn't force anything. We explained the situation and gave her a choice, and she chose. You were there. You heard her.
And you had one job.
That's a fallacy, just so you know. Choice under coercion.
That guy, Tyrion. Why was he after me?
Well,
That's a whole different fairy tale.
definitely painted a target on your back with what you did at Beacon. I told you having silver eyes is a rare trait. And the fact that you're someone that was able to use them seems to have upset some very powerful people. Not many people know about the silver eyes, but those that do aren't very happy that one has surfaced. That's why I've been keeping an eye on you. Wanted to make sure you were safe. All of you.
Well, then, why not just travel with us? It seems like that would have been way easier.
He was using you as bait.
Look, I wouldn't put it like that. It's complicated.
What is all of this? Ruby's being hunted. The schools are being attacked. All for what? What is the point of all of this? Will you just tell us what's going on?
Would you sit down? You're stressing me out, kid.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm
Yeah, that's the
stressing you
I'm
out.
sorry. That's the I'm sorry.
Not
arm
many
cross.
people are super religious these days.
It's got a little cross.
This world's been around for a long time. Long enough that people have created dozens of gods. But if you believe Ozpin, 2 of them are actually real. They were brothers.
Is
The
this going
older
to be a
sibling
world
of
of
God
remnant?
of Light found joy in creating forces
It
of
is.
life. Meanwhile, the younger brother, the God of Darkness, spent his time creating forces of destruction.
That's an interesting dichotomy.
As you can imagine,
Yeah.
they both had pretty different ideas about how things should go. The older one would spend his days creating water, plants, wildlife. And at night, his brother would wake to see all the things that the elder had made and become disgusted. To counteract his brother's creations, the God of Darkness brought drought, fire, famine, all that he could do to rid Remnant of life. Life always returned. So one night, the younger brother went and made something. Something that shared his innate desire to destroy anything and everything.
The creatures of Grimm.
You guessed it. The older brother had finally had enough. Knowing that their feud couldn't last like this forever, he proposed that they make one final creation together. Something they could both be proud of. Their masterpiece. Younger brother agreed. This last great creation would be given the power to both create and destroy. It would be given the gift of knowledge so that it could learn about itself and the world around it. And most importantly, it would be given the power to choose. To have free will to take everything it had learned and decide which path to follow. The path of light or the path of darkness. And that is how humanity came to be.
That wasn't the question at all.
But what does that have to do with us?
Well, that's the kicker. See, the four gifts to mankind, knowledge, creation, destruction, and choice, aren't just metaphorical. Each of them exists in a physical form, left behind by the gods before they abandoned Remnant. And each of them is extraordinarily powerful. If someone were to collect all four, they'd be able to change the world. And that's exactly what the enemy wants. The Huntsman Academies were created to train generations of humanity's protectors, but they also serve another purpose: guarding the relics. When Ozpin's predecessor founded the schools, he built them around the relics to act as a fortress. Not only would they be easier to defend, but they would be constantly surrounded by trained warriors. The hope was that hiding the relics would keep mankind from using them against itself. And, of course, keeping them out of her reach. So, yeah, there's that.
Her. You mean Salem?
That's right. Not much is known about her, and quite frankly, that's not what matters. What matters right now is that she wants the relics. And if she gets them, it's not going to end well.
Well, that doesn't really address a lot of the stuff that we're talking about.
You can always go in and say hi.
I don't want to bother him.
A father's never too busy for his daughter.
Not all of my friends would agree with you on that.
Here.
What? Where are you going?
You've never been very talkative, but that boy you brought home loves to run his mouth. I want to hear more about the adventures of Team RWBY.
I guess.
Why are you scared of your dad?
Hey,
Dads
Dad.
are scary.
Blake.
Yeah.
Well, this is a pleasant surprise.
I
said dads are
Please, come
scary.
sit.
What, are you gonna sneeze or something?
Yes.
Okay. Because that is scary.
Don't worry, I've got it.
That's why Dad
Sit
sneezes so
down.
loudly.
Sit down.
To scare off predators.
I don't want to keep you if you're...
Nonsense. I've been cooped up in here all day. You still take sugar, right?
Oh, actually,
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine.
Oh, here, take this one.
No, really, it's no big deal.
You sure?
Positive.
Old habits, I suppose. Might want to let it cool.
Right.
Yeah, you should let your tea cool.
So, is it
I'm sure that's actually
warm
tea.
in Vale?
Huh?
It just seems like your outfit doesn't cover very much.
It covers plenty.
I mean, a little more armor might help, don't you think?
I'm fine. I don't need armor. I can look after myself.
I know you can. I'm sorry.
Why? Why would you say that?
Sweetheart, what's wrong? What did I say?
How can you still love me after what I did?
Blake,
She needed to talk. None of us
your
did.
mother and I will always love you.
You were right. I shouted at you and yelled at you, but you were right. I called you cowards.
It's okay.
I should have left the White Fang with you and Mom. I should have listened to you, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Blake, it's fine. We never held anything against you, and I never feared you would fail. The only thing I ever feared was that you would fall down the wrong path. And I am so proud to see you haven't.
But I did. It was...
And you pulled yourself out. You came back. There aren't many who possess that kind of strength, and even fewer that have the courage to face their demons again. Vale, Mountain Glen, Beacon. You confronted the White Fang time after time.
I didn't do it alone.
No, you didn't. Which is why I wanted to ask you. Why did you leave Vale? Why did you leave your friends behind?
Son?
Oh, whoa! This isn't the bathroom! I'll just be going. Sorry to interrupt this tender family moment.
I really don't like you.
Alright. So let's say we believe all of this. There really is this crazy evil being behind these attacks, not just some thugs trying to become powerful. Why doesn't the world know? Why isn't Atlas going after them, or Mistral?
And why aren't we in more of a hurry to get to Haven? Shouldn't we be getting them a message? What if they're next?
The headmaster over there saw what happened to Beacon. He's not dumb. He'll be on his guard. Besides, it takes time to mobilize forces like that. Do you really think they planned out that attack on Beacon overnight? And to answer your question, it's the same reason we keep quiet about the Maidens. If the whole world knew about the relics, about Salem, it would be chaos. We'd have another great war on our hands, and this time, you'd have to fight. Look, I had the same questions too. But old Ozpen always put his foot down. We can't cause a panic. I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. Salem's smart. She works from the shadows, using others to get what she wants, so that when it comes time to place the blame, we can only point at each other. She's trying to divide us, humanity. And so far, she's done a pretty damn good job.
All right. So what should we do?
I don't really know. Ozpen has put a lot of trust in the headmasters. Like I said, the schools are an important part of stopping Salem.
Well, I mean, he was one.
Atlas is going to be on high alert after the last attack, and Vacuo is, well, Vacuo. It'll be hard to hire thieves and scoundrels to fight against other thieves and scoundrels. Take that. Add in the fact that Cinder and her crew claim to be from Haven, and I think it's likely the next target. So, we're on our way to the headmaster. Haven't heard from him in a while, even before the attack. I'm hoping he has the answers. All right, I think it's time you kids got some sleep.
Uncle Crow,
Yeah?
this is a lot to take in. And it all sounds crazy, but I'm willing to do whatever I can to help. Because I trust you. But why couldn't you trust me? Why couldn't you just travel with us instead of all of this secrecy and...
Look, this has nothing to do with trust. It's a long story, okay?
Yeah.
Seriously? Now you're tired of telling us stories?
Did you know the crows are a sign of bad luck? Old superstition, but it's how I got my name. You see, some people can absorb electricity, and some people can burst into rose petals. And some people are just born unlucky. My semblance isn't like most. It's not exactly something I do. It's always there, whether I like it or not. I bring misfortune. I guess you could call me a bad luck charm. Comes in real handy when I'm fighting an enemy. But it makes it a little hard on friends and family.
Interesting.
Well, you are just a real bundle of help, aren't you?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Taking a walk.
There's nothing else you want to tell us?
Not tonight.
Okay, so it looks like Raven does use birds as spies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, Ruby's arm is on fire.
Ugh. No concept of privacy, no respect for personal space.
I'm sorry, okay? Ow! I'm sorry!
Ugh!
Look, I promise it was important. I needed to find you to talk to you.
What, son? What could be so important?
I was talking to your mom and she said something weird about the White Fang.
I'm stopping you right there.
But
I told you. I'm not here to fight the White Fang. I'm not here to fight anyone. I'm here to rest, to figure things out, and to see my family.
your mom said White Fang members don't wear masks in Menagerie, but I saw one at the market yesterday. I even got a picture.
Son.
Look, I'm trying to help.
I don't want your help.
Whenever anyone gets slightly annoyed, Grim attack.
No, it's not Grim.
I don't think that's. Oh.
A freaking ninja?
A spy.
But why would... Hey, wait!
What's happened?
The White Fang is evil, I totally called it, and I'm bringing your daughter back!
Ooh, that is really pretty.
Looks like a video game.
You look like a video game.
Concept art there.
We should probably get moving.
Why do they have color-coordinated sleeping bags?
Because, you know, they do.
Where did they get them?
From the sleeping bag store.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And that's the end of the episode.
They have a thing for cliffhangers.
I need to reset the timer on the camera.
Stay very still.
That's unfortunately
The end of the episode.
That's unfortunate.
Unfortunately the end of the episode.
That's unfortunate. Seriously, that's.
You know what?
He's the straight man.
This
He's not
is-
gonna get all reaction-y.
This is
No, I'm talking about this. That's how they want to end the episode after like the night long talk about. Well, guess I'm a bad luck charm. I bring misfortune. Oh, that's unfortunate.
It's funny. I think that this has actually been my favorite episode of the series so far. I liked the way they did the world of Remnant inside the episode. I loved the interaction between Gira and Blake. That whole conversation, the fear, we talked earlier in another video about the lack of nurturing characters, mother figures, you know, any kind of nurturing parental unit. And I really was glad to see that in this episode and to see that Blake's family is nurturing. And there are some really interesting implications about the direction of the White Fang and the purpose of the White Fang when you look at the fact that Gira was a leader and now he's not. And I think that has huge political ramifications throughout the entire show. So that portion of it was spectacular. I liked the way that Crow is telling the story. I also think that Crow's storytelling and the fact that he's a bad omen, quote unquote, comes back to the conversation that he had with Raven about what happened to their clan or their family. Something bad happened and Crow blames himself and Raven blames him.
Oh.
Possibly the rest of their clan blames him. So that has really interesting backstory implications, and you know I love me a good backstory.
One for sorrow. It's a terrible omen.
It is, yes. But the other thing that I thought was really interesting is when they portrayed the portrayal of the two brothers, the brother of light and the brother of dark. Not the trope of the day and night, but the fact that the life-giving brother is portrayed as being dark with a light within himself. Whereas the darkness-bringing brother is portrayed as being light with a darkness inside. And I think that's beyond whatever yin and yang and that kind of thing. I think the symbolism of that is spectacular. I love the fact that they chose to do that symbolism because the darkness comes from within and the light comes from within. There's also a bunch of implications on this from a mythology standpoint. I'm gonna not get into right this moment because I want to give you guys a chance to talk.
I don't know if I have a whole lot to say. Oh, right.
Sorry, there's a first.
I just haven't cleaned out my ears in a while, so it's hard for me to hear myself, which just makes it that much less enjoyable, you know?
Right. Because if you can't hear yourself talk, then what's the point?
Don't worry, you can always watch the video when it comes out.
That's true.
And you can hear yourself say everything over again.
Thank you for reminding me, because in that case, I will go on. I was a little bit confused as to the way Crow chose to answer Jean's question, which was not at all.
Right.
Because he said, why is this happening? And he's like, oh, well, these two brothers created humanity. Which I guess in the long term explains why it's happening.
Right.
But overall, I don't think is necessarily an answer to why this is happening.
Right.
Choice in darkness.
How did you get to my house? Well, you see,
Humanity.
when a man loves a woman,
the way they chose to address that, I don't know if he's purposefully evading the question. It seemed a little bit weird to me.
He was changing his Facebook status to "It's complicated."
Yes. Not tonight.
I really actually liked John in this episode. Like,
yeah.
He's useless in all of the fight scenes, but he has a nice personality.
Well, here's the thing. Jean is useless. He's not stupid. He's not dumb.
I like that he called out that Crow was using Ruby as bait. Crow's like,
I wouldn't put it that
you got
way.
me there, buddy.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing is here we get to see that aspect of Jean as to why is Jean an interesting character? Because he's smart.
That's why he's a team
leader. If he could consistently apply that intelligence in a practical way instead of in a what was it? I hate sand.
Yes.
kind of way. Then I think it would be. I don't know if they're gonna grow the character like that or not, but I can be hopeful.
The defining trait that we see, I guess, resolve is a good way to put it. When he's going up against Cardin, he's not. He
has resolve. He has the thing. That's why I was really surprised that he did nothing during the fight.
That's why we were sort of upset because it goes against his characterization to stand in the sidelines. Tyrion.
Crazy Masaka.
Yes.
Yes. So here's the thing:
it felt like it was out of character.
Right? Why is he standing there? He should be, I don't know, building a wall out of bricks for everybody to hide behind, or doing something, using his intelligence
standing there
to do.
Because they need at least 20 seconds to build up suspense and drama while you hear Crow coming in.
So that aside, let's go to the second aspect of this show.
Yeah.
Not only is this my favorite episode from a content standpoint, This is, I think, the best looking episode of this show
The firelight
I have ever seen.
The campfire scene, the lighting.
The forest
really good.
was gorgeous. The library was gorgeous. This episode was really pretty to watch. The details in the logs, the details in the forest scene. The animated fire was okay, but fire is really difficult to animate.
Fire and liquid.
Fire and water,
are
the two difficult things to animate. And I thought that they did an okay job with the fire, and I thought they did a spectacular job with the backgrounds, with the colors in the logs, with the people there, with the shadows on the characters around the fire, particularly Jean. When you saw Jean lit by the fire and in shadow, that contrast on him, he looked particularly good in this episode. Honestly, I don't think there's anything off the top of my head that I would look at in this episode and go, that didn't work. I think this is, I'm gonna call it and say this is my favorite episode from a visual standpoint and a content standpoint of the entire series.
So we talked about sort of the world of Remnant and the storytelling bit. We talked about John and Ruby and Crow and all of them around the fire. We talked about the family unit and the aspect of Blake's situation. Sorry, can't got my tongue there for a second. I think it puts a lot more meaning towards the beginning of the scene where her mom urges her to go in and bring the tea to her dad and talk to her once we know that she was afraid of going to, because with the whole leaving the White Fang and all of that, we didn't, we knew that she was with the White Fang, they were with the White Fang, they left the White Fang, she left the White Fang. But, the whole, I'm a teenager, I don't think that your political values are good ones, and I'm going to rebel.
Yeah, I've never encountered that before.
I think, very true to life, very much how it goes. And I think the mom the way that they did it was very subtle. And I think that it adds layers looking back, because it's only once you reflect back on it that you realize those things. And I prefer that to the sort of over the head, look at all of this stuff that we have in here. So I thought that was well done.
And that's what I'm saying, is they layered, this is an episode where they layered in the story, Crow catching the kids up with what's going on. And this is why I used you as bait. Blake talking to her dad, and this is your kind of surface thing. And then underneath there you've got the political, geopolitical, and historical political implications of everything that Crow was talking about. And the political implications of Gira's departure from the White Fang. How does that affect how the White Fang acts then versus now? And
then there's another layer underneath that, things which have happened in the past between Blake and her parents and Blake and the White Fang. All of those complicated emotions.
Yeah. So you saw the Raven there at the end of the episode, and Crow recognizing that the Raven was there.
Not tonight.
And not wanting to talk in front of her.
If you like layers, check out Shrek.
I was thinking that. Oh yes, because Shrek is obscure.
Yeah, Shrek is a parfait.
Yeah.
Wait, no, he's an onion. Damn it! I hate onions. Wait, no, I like onions.
I want to know how Sun got from talking with Blake's mom to looking at pictures of, to spying and looking at pictures of the White Fang on his phone and having realizations about the organization.
No, he wasn't looking for her to show her the picture. He was spying on them. That is a strike against Sun. If I can quote Gira, I really don't like you.
I like his voice actor. Anything you want to add?
See, we've been having this kind of thing, like John versus Sun. Clearly, Sun has proven himself so far to be the better fighter. But which of them is superior in morals and personality? I think that's the real question we're having now.
It depends on what you mean by superior, because I've never seen Jean hang upside down by his tail.
Right.
That's not moral.
Well, if we're
Or
going to
That's
choose between them, obviously the best blonde is Yang. And I think that's
on that bombshell.
On that bombshell. We'll see you next week. I believe there's going to be a new one next week. I hope there's going to be a new one next week. All right, until next time.
There's always room on the couch. See, now you have to move too because Parker won't.
Here, Laura. There you go. Plenty of room.
You're supposed to be telling them to click on stuff.
Does any of it make confetti?
No.
Then what's the point?